All of you are welcome to the today Dhamma talk, Sunday Dhamma talk in BSV. So this month I had, now this is the second time I came here. So I would like to remind Dhamma, because Dhamma means how our body and mind works. That is the nature of our body and mind. And when Buddha teaching Dhamma, he explained some the nature belongs to these bodies and minds, which are not common for the normal living beings or the people who are living in this world. These are some special developments. We can develop our minds in different directions by having the right motivation or the proper motivations, which leads to give the benefits that normal people, normal living beings do not see or identify within themselves. When they get the right motivation, right inspiration to develop mind in those directions, so they achieve the states of mind which are not common for the living beings in this world. So that is the special part of, that is the higher part of Buddha's teachings. But if we understand this, the realities, truths related to this natural phenomena always happen within us, always running our bodies and minds. When we understand the realities, truths related to this phenomena, so we can identify how our mind works and how we can avoid unskillful verbal actions, bodily actions, which are based on unskillful mental actions. Because sometimes we don't much worry about unskillful mental actions. Why? Because no one sees it, no one directly understands it. But these unskillful mental actions generate unskillful verbal actions and bodily actions. It is a consequence. So when your mind starts going in the wrong direction, or the direction which generate unskillful, which leads to generate unskillful verbal actions and bodily actions, you are too late. So that's why you should understand how things comes behind, how these verbal actions and bodily actions come from, what are the root causes, what are the early things happen within our body and mind. So when we identify these things, then we can stop going in the wrong direction. So that's why Lord Buddha inspired people to understand this nature of our body and mind. These unskillful verbal actions and bodily actions come because unskillful mental actions. Wrong, that means greed-based, hatred-based mental actions generate the greed-based, hatred-based verbal actions and bodily actions, which are all they give the more problems, create disharmony and suffering to yourself and others. So that's why understanding Dhamma in the right way, or the listening to Dhamma and investigate that Dhamma within your body and mind and identify the truth in it and develop the faith and confidence regarding this Dhamma and take that right understanding to your day-to-day practice, or to cultivate right intentions based on right view and right understanding about this body and mind. So then it leads to develop skillful verbal actions and bodily actions. So then in later stage, or when you see these things happening within you, and when you see the root causes, why we get those intentions, these unskillful intentions or skillful intentions, why we get these things. And when we start seeing this nature of body and mind, then you see there is no other way to stop this flow of happening things. Only thing, we should bring this mind to this still states or cessation of this process. You have to achieve the cessation of the process. It is a natural process. So then we have to, how to develop mind to the cessation. So it is the higher part of the practice. For at the beginning, so when you identify this natural flow within your body and mind, the flow of this mind, the mind, how this mind flows, how this mind take intentions, intentions arise in our mind, how it happens. When you see things within your body and mind, so then you get the courage to develop mind. So Buddha say to develop the situational awareness. What is happening in your mind? That is mindfulness. When you develop the mindfulness, you are mindful what's happening within you, your body and mind. So then you can reflect on the phenomena, or what are the thoughts arose in your mind when you reflect back what happened in the past and how it happens. What are the associating factors to arouse those mental states. So then you can gradually understand, oh yes, when I attend to this object, this kind of feelings, perceptions arose within me, and it leads to these mental states. So then you can understand this unskillful stuff. But to do this, you have to calm down your mind, still your mind, develop the practice of letting go. Because without having that practice, so your mind is restless most of the time. It is going behind different thoughts and to try to understand things. Then your mind is restless, basically. Sometimes you don't understand your mind is restless until you develop the calm states, still states. So that's why listening to Dhamma is important. Listening carefully and develop the basic understanding. Because you listen carefully if you have the faith and confidence regarding the Dhamma or the teacher. First, you have to regard. That's why the faith and confidence regarding Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha is important. Without having that, you don't listen carefully. You don't pay attention to what this teaching is and how can we understand it. So then you come to the basic things of Buddhism, which you can carefully investigate within your body and mind and understand. The uncertainty, impermanence related to all our mentality. So that is how long our feelings, perceptions, volitions stay with us, and how it changed to something else, some different other feelings, perceptions and volitions regarding the same object sometimes. So that is the most important thing, how our feelings, perceptions, volitions change to something else regarding the same object. So when you see things, then you see the uncertainty, impermanence related to our forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses. So we have to investigate within us and see, oh yeah, this is true. When you understand it is true, then you give a lesser value to all forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses arise within you. So then your mind get more soft, kind to yourself and others. So it comes step by step, gradually. So first thing, you have to listen to Dhamma and pay attention. Pay attention based on the right understanding. That means you pay attention based on uncertainty, impermanence. So then you see the impermanence and uncertainty within your body and mind. This process, whatever products come, whatever the feelings, perceptions, volitions arise in your mind is impermanent and uncertain. So then you can reflect on the nature that why we become unsatisfied, suffer. Because we longing or crave to impermanent stuff to be permanent or with us all the time. When you see the impermanent nature, then you understand why suffering come to us. Because we crave to impermanent stuff. It is a natural process, not we are doing. It is the way how it works. So then you are getting ready to let go. So the motivation to renunciation is important. It is it is essential to develop the calm, still mind. So that's why this right view and right motivation is the first two factors of Noble Eightfold Path. So we have to listen and think the right way. So then we can go in the right way. So I actually want to more emphasize today, because when we are living in this day-to-day life, so then we read news, we see this world. So we see what other people doing in this world. Sometimes we see cruelty with some people's actions and how it spread all over the world. Or sometimes the people who are living among you behave badly. So they are the actions based on cruelty, action based on anger, hatred. So these things actually you directly experience. Do you directly this when your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind contact that kind of object, so it come to your mind. Then your mind start reacting based on that experience. So then your mind fall into the anger, hatred. When you see things happening in this way, so then you know these feelings, perceptions, volitions are impermanent. So this, if your mind fall into anger, hatred, it generates bad verbal actions and bodily actions which harm to you and which can harm to other people. At the same time, it blocks your wisdom. That means it blocks that to deal with the objects in the right way, be kind, soft and gentle, skillful way. It blocks the wisdom which generate the beneficial verbal actions and bodily actions which make more harmony and peace and leads to your benefit and the benefit of the others. When mind go to the anger, hatred and cruelty, so it generate the actions based on anger, hatred and cruelty. So it go to more unskillful verbal actions and bodily actions. So where we can stop, we have to think wisely. We have to keep situational awareness, mindfulness. So we should give a value to cultivate mindfulness. So your mind inclined to the right practices. Your mind, because mind is a natural phenomena. This whatever mentality arises within you based on your practices, your cultivation of mindfulness or the practices. So I will read one sutta which inspire you how Buddha teach these things. This is I don't read the whole sutta. It is a long sutta, so you can read when you go back to your home or the later time. So I will read this sutta. So then. This is the sutta come in Majjhima Nikaya, Mūlapanāsa Sienādavagga. This is a Majjhima Nikaya discourse number 19. MN 19. Two kinds of thought. Pali name is Dvedha Vitakka Sutta. I will read the first part of this sutta. So, I have heard, this is Ajahn Sujato's translation. So, I have heard. I will read the Ajahn Sujato's footnote. This is also important to remind ourselves about regarding this sutta. This discourse shows that a meditator must abandon unwholesome thought, then wholesome thought before entering to absorption. Because the people who incline to develop the higher states of mind should abandon the unskillful thoughts first, before cultivating the skillful thoughts or the wholesome mentality, which leads to the deeper states of mind. That means it leads to absorption. It is one of the several discourses that give detailed instruction on dealing with thought in meditation. While meditation existed before the Buddha, we do not find this kind of practical advice on how to go about it. At one time, the Buddha was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. There the Buddha addressed the mendicants. Mendicants, Venerable Sir, they replied. The Buddha said this: Mendicants, before my awakening, when I was still unawakened, but intent on awakening, I thought, why don't I meditate by continually dividing my thoughts into two classes? So this stage of Buddha's, the Bodhisattva, because before become a Buddha, after he stayed with Alara Kalama Uddakarama Putta, then he stayed with the Panchavagya Bhikkhu, the five ascetics. He stayed with five ascetics. And then he practiced all the ascetic practices, so austerities. And later he gave up all these things. And he came to the Uruvela, so this Varanasi now. So he he gave up these austerities and ascetic practices and start developing the meditation, which he could recollect when he had some kind of meditation when he was a small child. So he started developing that meditation. So, and at that stage, this is mentioning that stage when he start developing the meditation absorptions based on his small age experiences. So this is the stage that this sutta mentioned that stage of the practice of Bodhisattva, the before he come to the awakening. Mendicants, before my awakening, when I was still unawakened, but intent on awakening, I thought, why don't I meditate by continually dividing my thoughts into two classes? So I assigned sensual, malicious and cruel thoughts to one class. And I assigned thoughts of renunciation, goodwill and harmlessness to the second class. Then I meditate diligent, keen and resolute. A sensual thought arose. I understood this sensual thought has arisen in me. It leads to hurt myself, hurting others, hurting both. It blocks wisdom. It is on the side of the distress, and it doesn't lead to extinguishment. So he reflects in this way regarding that sensual thought. When I reflected that it leads to hurting myself, it went away. When I reflect that it leads to hurting others, it went away. When I reflect it leads to hurting both, it went away. So the meaning is, the first one knows the thought, understanding it in terms of the framework. So that means the framework is his intent to the enlightenment, letting go these unskillful things. So then one reflects on the casual outcome of the thought, what it leads to, what will it leads to. So this is the basis of the reflect on the thoughts when it arises in your mind. So you have to pay attention on the basis of what will give this thought to me. Then you see this one will give you more the hurt to yourself. It will hurt to the other people, and it will blocks your wisdom. When I reflect that it leads to hurting myself, it went away. That means he didn't eradicate his thought by force or judgment, but reflective wisdom eradicate the unskillful mentality, but not putting the force or judgment. But you see what will give this one. So then you let go. Oh yeah, it is not going to give what what I expect in future, or which direction I am going. It is not helpful to the direction I am going. It is so then that is called but reflective wisdom. He let go things. So these things we have to keep in mind. So not forcing our mind, but reflect wisely. What are the consequences come behind if I think in this way? What will be the consequences? So when I reflect that it leads to hurting others, it went away. When I reflect that it leads to hurting both, it went away. When I reflect that it blocks wisdom, it is on the side of distress, and it doesn't lead to extinguishment, it went away. So I gave up, got rid of, and eliminated any sensual thoughts that arose. Then I meditated, diligent, keen, and resolute. A malicious thought arose, and I understood this is malicious thought, has arisen in me. It leads to hurting myself, hurting others, and hurting both. It blocks wisdom. It is on the side of distress, and it doesn't lead to extinguishment. When I reflect that it leads to hurting myself, it went away. When I reflect that it leads to hurting others, it went away. When I reflect that it leads to hurting both, it went away. When I reflect that it blocks wisdom, it is on the side of distress, and it doesn't lead to extinguishment, it went away. So I gave up, got rid of, and eliminated any malicious thoughts that arose. Then the third thing. Then I meditated, diligent, keen, and resolute. A cruel thought arose. I understood this cruel thought has arisen in me. It leads to hurting myself, hurting others, hurting both. It blocks wisdom. It is on the side of distress. It doesn't lead to extinguishment. When I reflected it leads to hurting myself, it went away. When I reflected it leads to hurting others, it went away. When I reflected it leads to hurting both, it went away. When I reflected it blocks wisdom. It is on the side of distress, and it doesn't lead to extinguishment, it went away. So I gave up, got rid of, and eliminated the cruel thoughts that arose. So then Buddha says, whenever mendicant frequently think about and considers became their heart's inclination. So this is one of the important principles in Dhamma, the way of your mind works, chitta niyama. Whatever thing you frequently to practice in your mind or think in your mind, it become your heart's inclination, your mind's inclination. So that's why we have to be careful. When you think these unskillful thoughts, if you let the unskillful mentality arise in your mind, it becomes your mind's inclination. So that is the danger. Because mind is a natural phenomena. It is not your mind. If you let your mind to harbor this unskillful mentality, it will become your mind's inclination. It will become your habit or practice. So that is the danger. So then you have to guard your mind. You have to protect your mind. If you don't protect your mind, it naturally falls into the unskillful mental actions, unskillful mentality. So that's why it is necessary to cultivate mindfulness regarding your mind. What your mind is thinking, you have to investigate it. You have to carefully guard your mind. Then I will read the sutta. If they often think about and consider sensual thoughts, they have given up. If they often think about and consider sensual thoughts, if they have given up the thought of renunciation to cultivate sensual thoughts. So that is what happened. Mind inclines to the sensual thoughts. If you allow the sensual thoughts arise in your mind all the time, so mind naturally given up the renunciation, the opposite of it. So then mind start cultivating the sensual thoughts. So that's why this is the thing you have to understand within your body and mind. So it is the way how it works. If they often think about and consider malicious thought, means they have given up the thought of goodwill to cultivate, you've given up the thought of goodwill to cultivate the malicious thought. That's why you have to be careful. You have to stop at the beginning. When the malicious thoughts arise, you should stop it. You should not allow it to grow within you. You are allowing it to grow within you means you abandon the goodwill. You get rid of the goodwill arise in your mind. So their mind inclines to the malicious thoughts. I will read it again. If they often think about and consider malicious thought, they have given up the thought of goodwill to cultivate malicious thought. Their mind inclines to malicious thoughts. If they often think about and consider cruel thoughts, they have given up the thought of harmlessness to cultivate the cruel thoughts. So that is what happened within you. If you allow to grow the cruel thoughts, and ill will, and sensuality, if you allow to those thoughts, sensual thoughts, the malicious thoughts, and cruel thoughts, if you allow to grow these things, that means you are stop growing the renunciation, goodwill, and harmlessness. You stop growing this good side and you allow to grow the wrong side, the bad side. So Lord Buddha give an simile. Suppose it is the last month of the rainy season in autumn, when the crops grow closely together and cowherd must take care of the cattle. He would tap and poke them with his staff on this side and that to keep them in check. Why is that? If he sees that if they wander into the crops, he would be executed, imprisoned, fined, or condemned. So you have to reflect on the consequences. If you don't stop this unskillful mentality at the beginning, it will grow within you and it will give you the bad consequences in the future. So that is the important thing. You have to reflect wisely on these things. In the same way, I saw that unskillful qualities have the drawbacks of sordidness, and corruption, and that unskillful qualities have the benefit, and the skillful qualities have the benefit and cleansing power of renunciation. So renunciation has the cleansing power. So we have to keep in mind. So that's why when your mind is indulged in this five sense world, it will corrupt your mind. Because when your mind associates with these five sense world objects, craving arises as a consequence. It is the nature of the mentality, mind. When you associate with the five sense world objects, the craving wanting arise. When the craving wanting arise, it leads to unskillful mentality, greed and hatred. So that's why the practice of renunciation clean up your mind. It has a cleansing power. Nekkamme anisansam vodana pakkam. Vodana pakkam means it is cleansing your mind. So this is one of the important things we have to keep in mind. That's why we have to practice renunciation in our day-to-day life as much as we can. Cut off and let go as much as we can. Unnecessary stuff. And unskillful mentality. That means the greed-based, hatred-based mentality we have to cut off and let go and purify our mind. We should see the danger which generates in your later verbal actions and bodily actions. If you allow the unskillful mental actions to grow in your mind, it will lead to generate unskillful verbal actions and bodily actions which disclose your mental actions in front of others. Sometimes you can hide your mental actions, but you can't hide your verbal actions and bodily actions when it comes out. So that's why you have to protect your mind first. Mano pubbangama dhamma, mano setta manomaya. Mano pubbangama dhamma, mano setta manomaya. Manasache paduttena o pasannena. Bhasativa karotiva. So then it comes to your verbal actions and bodily actions. So that's why this Dhammapada, the first verse, say these things. First two verses. What will happen when your mind becomes corrupted, polluted with the unskillful mental actions? So therefore, you have to protect your mind. In the same way, I saw that unskillful qualities have the drawbacks of sordidness and corruption, and that skillful qualities have the benefit and cleansing power of renunciation. So then come to the next stage. Then I meditated, diligent, keen, and resolute. A thought of renunciation arose. I understood this thought of renunciation has arisen in me. It doesn't lead to hurting myself, hurting others, or hurting both. It nourishes wisdom. It is on the side of freedom from distress. It leads to extinguishment. If I keep on thinking and considering this all night, all day, all night and day, I see no danger that would come from that. Still thinking and considering for too long would tire my body. And then the body is tired, the mind is stressed. And when the mind is stressed, it is far from immersion. So if you, even if you indulge in good thinking, for too much good thinking, also make your body tired. And then your mind becomes stressed. So then you can focus to the stillness. That's what Buddha says. So I stilled, settled, unified, and immersed my mind internally. But these, the good thoughts, not obstruct to the stillness. It is supporting to the stillness. It is supporting to the renunciation. So even the good thoughts makes your body tired if you too much thinking. But it doesn't obstruct the meditation. It is not an obstacle to the meditation. It is a supportive factor. So you can quickly let go because it is supporting to the renunciation. Good thoughts are always supporting to the renunciation. Let go. Then you can release your mind quickly and bring to the stillness. So that's what Buddha says. So I stilled, settled, unified, and immersed my mind internally. Why is that? So that mind would not stressed by the thought of renunciation. It is not stress the mind. Only if you are thinking too much, it's stress because your body is stressed. Not the thought stress your mind. Thought in the renunciation side. Why is that? So that the mind would not be stressed. So then come to the fifth. Then I meditate, diligent, keen, and resolute. A thought of goodwill arose. In the same way, it is also like the same. It is the thought in the wholesome side or the skillful side. So it doesn't create the thought which obstruct your meditation. But too much thinking doesn't support to the deep stillnesses. But it is skillful thinking. It creates the wholesome mindset. It is not obstruct the renunciation and bring the deeper stillnesses. But you have to stop thinking to develop deeper stillnesses. That is the meaning. Then I meditated, diligent, keen, and resolute. A thought of goodwill arose. That is another good mentality. Then I meditate. This is another one, the next one. Then I meditate, diligent, keen, and resolute. A thought of harmlessness arose. I understood this thought of harmlessness has arisen in me. It doesn't lead to hurting myself, hurting others, or hurting both. It nourishes wisdom. It is on the side of freedom from distress, and it leads to extinguishment. If I were keep on thinking and considering this all night, all day, all night and day, I see no danger that would come from that. Still, thinking and considering for too long would tire me, to tire my body. And when the body is tired, the mind is stressed. And when the mind is stressed, it is far from immersion. That is far from the absorption state of mind. So I stilled, settled, unified, and immersed my mind internally. Why is that? So that my mind would not be stressed. Whenever the mendicant frequently thinks about and considers, become their heart's inclination. So that's why Lord Buddha encouraged to practice skillful thoughts. Just abandon the unskillful thoughts. Don't allow the unskillful thoughts to grow within you, to indulge your mind in unskillful mentality. Stop it when you see it. It will not be beneficial for you. If they often think about and consider thoughts of renunciation, they have given up sensual thoughts to cultivate the thought of renunciation. So this is the opposite of the wrong thoughts. When you allow to grow the thoughts of renunciation, it means that you are not give chance to the sensual thoughts. You are given up the sensual thoughts to cultivate the thought of renunciation. So one replaces the other. So that is what we have to do. Because when your mind is indulging in this sensuality, it leads to more greed and hatred, or the thoughts related to greed and hatred, and create more problems. So when you cultivate the renunciation and by giving up sensuality, it leads to more peace and harmony growing within you. That is the skillful thoughts. If they often think about and consider thoughts of goodwill, they have given up ill will, malicious thoughts, to cultivate the good thought of goodwill. Their mind inclines to thoughts of goodwill. If they often think about and consider thoughts of harmlessness, they have given up harmful, cruel thoughts what has happened? Okay. If they often think about and consider thoughts of harmlessness, they have given up harmful thoughts to cultivate thoughts of harmlessness. Their mind inclines to thoughts of harmlessness. So that is the way how you replace one from the other. Suppose it is the last month of summer, when all the crops have been gathered within a village, and a cowherd must take care of the cattle, while at the root of a tree or in an open, he needs only to be mindful that the cattle are there. So that's why. So when you are train your mind to indulge or dwell with the skillful thoughts, you are in the right side. So no need to too much control, because if your mind fall into the unskillful mental state, you have to stop it. Otherwise, you go into the dangerous states, the more harmful states. But when your mind in the skillful mentality, so you are no need to control in the straight away, because these are skillful. But even the skillful thoughts are not supporting to the deeper stages of meditation. But it is not harming. It will not generate apparent bad results straight away. So that's why no need to worry too much about the bad. If you want to develop the deep states of mind, even then you have to stop. Even this skillful thinking also, you have to stop thinking straight away, even whether it is good or bad. But the the thoughts are not create harm to you or your mind. In the same way, I needed only to be mindful that those things were there. My energy was roused up and unflagging. My mindfulness was established and lucid. My body was tranquil and undisturbed, and my mind was immersed in samadhi and unified. So then Buddha's teachings goes to the jhana states. So this talk, I actually wanted to bring this part of the sutta to remind you how to attend your mind to stop not falling into the unskillful mental states. So that is the important thing. You have to attend. You have to keep mindfulness, not to fall into the unskillful mental state. Because when you are dealing with this world, your mind, if your mind go through these five sense world objects, then mind naturally fall into the greed and hatred. So that's why you have to be careful, not let your mind to go to hatred and greed. You can. That's why I first, at the beginning of this Dhamma talk, I mention you the impermanence, uncertainty related to all forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses arise within you. When you know this one, you can quickly let go things. You can renunciate. You can turn away from things which come to, when unskillful mentality comes to you, you can quickly cut off and let go. You know, these things are impermanent. All these forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousness arise within us is impermanent. If you attend to these things, it will lead to suffering. If you easily, even though skillful or unskillful, these are impermanent stuff. Even the skillful things also impermanent. It will not lead to lasting happiness. That's why Lord Buddha inspired people to develop the extinguishment, develop the end of all these experiences. So that's why developing extinguishment is important. Developing the cessation is important. Because you are always associating with the impermanent stuff. Impermanent mentality and materiality. If your consciousness is engaged in this impermanent stuff, sooner or later, whether it is good or bad, you will come to suffering, state of suffering. Because things are impermanent, uncertain. You can't trust on these products of the phenomena. So you have to keep in mind. So then you are ready to let go, even the good stuff. Good things arise in you. And then you are ready to develop your mind to the deeper still states. Let go all goods and bads and reach to the cessation of all experiences. You are motivated to the right side. Because until you engage with this consciousness, you fall into suffering sooner or later. Because this consciousness always associates with the uncertain, impermanent stuff. That is, all your forms, feelings, perceptions, volitions, and consciousnesses are impermanent, uncertain. You can't rely on these things. So that is what Buddha said. So if you have questions, now you can ask.
Thank you, Bhante. So first of all, do we have a question from the floor at all?
A very interesting talk, Ajahn. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is that cultivation takes time.
Yes.
And time somehow, what I'm trying to say is that clarity doesn't take time.
Yeah.
Clarity is immediate. Cultivation takes time. So it feels like some kind of contradiction there for me.
No, the clarity means you understand this is true, this is right, this is the thing I have to do. But this consciousness is not yours. Consciousness arises in this moment based on causes and conditions. Your past practices affect your present moment consciousness. That is the problem. So that's why you have to practice the right thing again and again and again until it becomes your current practice, current habit. Otherwise, your past practices automatically come and gives the results of the actions, your mental actions, verbal actions, and bodily actions. So that's why you have to practice again and again. That's why Buddha say the inclination of mind is important. So your mind inclined when you are practicing again and again. The same thing. So that's why even when you are practicing meditation, Buddha say in some other suttas, if you want to develop the deeper stages of meditation, you have to practice the same meditation object again and again. So then you gradually get familiar with the meditation object. And then your mind is eased with the meditation object. And you start enjoying the meditation object. And then your mind goes to the deeper stages. Pakkandati pasidati santittati vimuchyati. The vimuchyati come at the late. First, your mind leap into those states of mind because you start enjoying it. Pakkandati pasidati. Then you are delighted in those states. It comes late. It's step by step. So that's why you have to train again and again and again. Because when you identify, this is right, this is good, this is the way how I should train my mind. So then you have to train your mind. It never automatically come to you. Why? Your mind drives by the karma, your past practices. Which one come first? It is highly uncertain. That is the meaning of anicchata, uncertainty. So you can make it little bit certain by practicing again and again. Right thing. If you abandon those practices, naturally your past, which one come first, is highly uncertain. So that's why Lord Buddha say you have to keep practicing continuously.
I feel like my practice is more to do with letting go, non-attachment, to good or bad, just to not to cultivate the good or destroy the bad, but let both go.
Let both go.
Yeah.
And attend to the stillness, doing nothing. Attend to more doing nothing.
It's like the mirror reflects and the mirror has no choice. It's like,
yes,
has no good or bad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn. We have a question from Richard online. The question is, would you have some tips to make arise thoughts of renunciation as a default state? So some tips to help them arise thoughts of renunciation, apart from the ones that the Buddha gave that you mentioned in the talk. For example, maybe 5 recollections daily or some other tips. Would you have any tips to help people to do this?
And ask again, I could not.
Would you have any tips to help them give rise to thoughts of renunciation in their mind?
Yes, these thoughts of renunciation come from the root understanding. That's why I explained this uncertainty or impermanence, suffering and not self. You have to reflect on all your experiences in this way. Then you get the motivation to renunciate. Because when you associate with this forms, feelings, perceptions and volitions, or the sight, sounds, smells, tastes, touches and thoughts, naturally your choices arise as a consequence of the mental process. It is not you are doing. It is the way how it works. Because your training or your practices or your past choices actually come into the action in the present moment, and then your feelings, perceptions, volitions arise based on your past practices. So it is a natural phenomena. So then when you know this is a natural phenomena and it gives the choices and motivations, so then you understand these things have no end. So without renunciating or the letting go, the whole process and the products of the process, so then you can bring the stillness. So then you see otherwise you don't see the value of letting go things. You think, oh, these are value. Also, I have to think these things. If you stop thinking, I will become a fool. That is the most of the people who practice meditation say. They get afraid at the beginning. If I don't think, I'll become a fool. Because they don't see the foolishness within thinking. The thinking always, Buddha gave the example. It is like thinking is like a dog who tied to a pole is running around the pole. You think whatever thing you know. You can't think whatever thing you don't know. So thinking is always within the framework. You can't go beyond that.
We have one more question from the floor.
Thank you. Yeah, I too have really enjoyed the talk. It's my first time. So do you think I'm kind of picking up what you're saying. Do you think it's best if you've had a hurt with another person to either, communicate that with them, to let go and renounce, but is that part of it, like psychology, and to let go of some of that by at times talking to them or writing to them or...
Yeah, if you see the value of letting go, if you talk to others, that means it is confirming in your mind. It is supporting that idea within your mind. It is good. So that's why the Buddha say, Abhinandati, Abhivadati, Ajjosaya Tittati. So these three words say, first you delight in that idea. Renunciation. You delight in that. So then you abhivadati, you tell other people, you respect it, you tell others, you value it. Then your determination to achieve those states they reside in your mind, the heart. Ajjosaya tittati. So it is a good thing. It is how this mind works. So first thing you get develop, that is the first faculty of first spiritual faculty is faith and confidence. The saddha, virya. Then the effort come behind the faith and confidence. Faith and confidence is the first spiritual faculty. So it is correct. So when you talk to other people means, then you start a discussion. So then other people also talk about these things, then you can explain what you heard and all these things. That means you understand it as an important thing, valuable thing.
Ajahn, thank you again. There's one quick, perhaps follow-up question from that. How do you improve your mind to come only with good thoughts? So how do you improve your mind to come only with good thoughts?
Good thoughts, yes. Yeah. That is a good question, because first thing you have to identify how we differentiate good and bad. So that is the first thing. Then when you see bad thoughts, you should stop thinking in that way. Or you have to remove the reasons which support to those bad thinking. Because that's why always we remind this uncertainty, impermanence, and suffering and not self. This is the basis of thinking. But sometimes you can take some other things also to stop bad thinking. So the same thing in one thing, when you are, the hatred arises when you are consider one person's bad actions, or the actions, whatever actions their actions makes you unhappy and angry. You can reflect on the same person's good actions. Then you have the gratitude can arouse in your mind. Then you can switch your mind to the different state. Then you bring the gratitude to your mind. So then you can abandon the ill will.
I was going to also perhaps say that I find meditation so useful in everyday life.
Yes.
Minor irritations to anything else, just to be able to bring kindness to yourself and to the others.
Yes.
So
that is also another way. Buddha praised these practices. Practice loving kindness, this compassion to other people, and understand all the bodies and minds are natural phenomena. All these, their thoughts always arise based on causes and conditions. What they experience past and how they deal with objects now. Which level of mindfulness they have now. Because people face different states of life. So then sometimes they lose their mindfulness. Even though they practice meditation, sometimes in some situations, people lose their mindfulness and they fall into unskillful verbal actions and bodily actions. It's a part of this world. So then you have to be kind to the. That's why I say. So you have to you can reflect on their good actions, past good actions, and to cut off the bad thoughts arise in your mind.
Bhante, so thank you very much for your talk, and thank you for everyone for the questions and for sort of unpacking things a little bit further. It's just time now for announcements.
Okay, good.
Okay. Okay. Just firstly, a reminder that the Sangha will be going into the retreat period, the Vassa period.
Yes.
Sort of, it formally starts on the 11th of July, but next Sunday we'll be holding a special ceremony down here, so that's the 6th of July. So Ayurpeka will come down from Newbury Buddhist Monastery, and we will be holding that ceremony. Now, that happened at the normal times from 9:30 to 11. We're still fine-tuning a few arrangements. There will be a chance to make offerings to Sangha at the end of the proceedings and before we do the Pindapata, the rice offering. But staying with that theme of the Vassa, encouraging people to think about whether they'd like to do a self-retreat up at SOS, the retreat centre in Newbury, over the Vassa period, whether it's for a weekend or for a week, if you have some time off, to commit to a deeper practice, an opportunity to pause and reflect and study in a supportive environment. And then staying with the Sangha needs, really. We do have some, as always, but particularly in early July, we've got some gaps in our lunch dana. So if people have the opportunity and the time and the ability, then could you head to the website to make a booking to support the Sangha both here and up at Newbury. But before we get to the Vassa, and the last plug for the year, I think, last plug for the financial year, you've got one more day to make a donation to the Newbury Building Fund, and that will, any donations do play a role in reducing our internal loan so that we can complete the current phase. Today is normally the Kalyana Mitta cleaning day. The weather's not particularly great to us, so we'll have a look at what happens after we finish the shared meal. But normally we start about 12:15 for an hour or so, and we'll see what can be done. There'll be some cleaning and stuff around the hall if it becomes too inclement outside. Then so Friday the 11th of July, Ajahn Sadharo will be holding an online meeting, 7 p.m. on Discord, to formally undertake the 5 of the 8 precepts for the Vassa. So it's during the Vassa, the rains period, stay in touch on the Aditana channel, Aditana translating roughly as determination. So some longer term practitioners here will know that often during the Vassa, lay people take on an additional practice during the Vassa to try and deepen their practice to make a determination. Then Discover Buddhism session will commence. The first session will be on the 18th of July, and we'll have some more details around that. Then going back onto the teaching program on Monday night, tomorrow night, Ajahn Aranavihari will be here at 7:30 p.m. to lead meditation. On Tuesday night, we have layperson-led meditation. Now, it's appropriate at this stage to say a big thank you to Sandeep Kaki. Sandeep stepped down after, I believe, 9 years of being responsible for the Tuesday night meditation. He's going to Nepal for the Vassa, and he's working with others there, developing a forest monastery in the Thai tradition. And there will be a short message from him in the upcoming newsletter about what he got out of leading these sessions over 9 years, and the opportunities that might provide for anyone who's interested and think that they have the ability to step into that position. So for the time being, there'll be a mix of people taking the Tuesday nights, but Andrew Bowden, we think he'll be around for the next number of weeks. And so then just the other ongoing things, we have Monday to Thursday nights online, 7 p.m, make meditation a healthy habit. So 20-minute meditation led by a monastic twice a week. And then New Day, New Mind, again online, you can join any time between 4 a.m. to 6:30. Next week we have the Sunday Dhamma talk here, as I said, special week. Aya Upeka will be down, and Monday night meditation will also be Aya Upeka. So that's it for the announcements, other than to remind people that we do have a shared meal after this, an offering to the Venerable for his lunch dana. If people can stay, please do so. And with that, we ask Venerable if we could formally conclude. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Pay respect to Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namassami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namah